Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for watching Smart24 TV. This is the point where we analyze economic policy and the different players in the sectors that do influence economic growth. To see our country, of course, grow to the economy we would love actually to enjoy, and our future generations as well. And I am with Mr. Muzamiru Abori, who is from the Kampala Cadres Advocacy Forum, and we are talking about the imbalance of our imports and exports as a nation. Now, Mr. Muzamiru, you've pointed out very strong issues here, especially concerning policy, talking about, for example, our tax, the way we are taxing our sectors, and yet we want still the same sectors to bring in exports. But looking at what government has done so far, for example, they have created free zones. These free zones, people go in there and they can be able to produce goods, manufacture, or actually package goods that are already processed here in Uganda. And they have, of course, a condition of exporting 80% for abroad. That is abroad, I mean outside East Africa, the East African community. And they have to sell 20% domestically. They can sell 20% domestically. One of the other things they have done is also push for the East African community integration, together with the integration of the African society, that is through the Continental Free Trade Area. And so these are some of the things that government is doing. But in your own opinion, do you think our integration as East Africa has a very strong, solid ground that it can actually influence our exportation policies so that we see more exports from East Africa?
Absolutely, yes. And one, people should always realize that population, the bigger the population, the bigger the economic, advantages. And I was brought up the other day when they brought Congo on board, which is above 80 million, population coming in. This brought a smile. For one reason, such a market is so huge to any country that has propelled their industrialization, value addition, approach, as in Uganda. Because when we look at the comparative advantage between Kenya and Uganda, Kenya is having an advantage, compared to Uganda, because we import less. We import much from Kenya, and we export less to them compared. Because I think around 440 something million USA dollar, which you are importing from Kenya, and then for you exporting around 300 something. So that difference of close to 100 million USA dollar is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But now, how do you mitigate? Probably, how do you put up that gap? Then within still East Africa, you'd find that Congo can never, probably import, export, import more. Can never export. We can never. We shall have ourselves export more than what they are
able to export
to us. You understand that? That means the import and export balance will always be on our advantage to some level. So therefore, Uganda took a very good kind of step of whereby it went and helped some kind of infrastructure development as roads. Seeing Uganda developing some roads to Congo.
There was a lot of criticism.
There was a lot of criticism. But again, those are the people without statistics. Okay. Understand that? Those probably there will be street talk everywhere. But I would really, I welcomed it, because if you realize that the government of Congo, the other side, is a little bit so much silent to some parts of Congo itself.
That's true.
Exactly. And then you're seeing that every other day you're seeing traders are taking Ugandan merchandise to the other country. Then probably you help the traders, because as within arcades of Kampala, I really see a lot of lorries on Loom Street. You see, William Street rather. Those that are really going to Congo, going to Southern Sudan. So therefore, if a Ugandan exporter is probably propelling, advancing the production here, and then exporting the value-added products, then I would really do also government go help him, solve the hurdles. The other
Because
side.
when you look at the size of Congo, the statistics show that they have over 2.3 million square kilometers, and in
Yes.
Uganda we have just 241 square kilometers, meaning we have 10 Ugandas in Congo.
That's very true. Now, in such a country as it is developing into some kind of industrialization, and you're seeing that you have an advantage over them, some area of Congo, and they are very eager, they are very interested to see that they import Ugandan products, then you take that advantage. You take that advantage, and you continue to have a good relation with them. So I think the East African community did a great deal of bring Congo on board. Understand that? However, there are certain challenges because if they are free movement, that's okay, and the labor force, moving freely and working, in any country apart from Tanzania, whereby that Ugandans are supposed to have a work permit. East African, whatever, they must supposed to have a work permit. But one disadvantage cannot outblow the many advantages we are having as in the East African community. So therefore, certain processes, at least they are trying to show a green light and the advantage. So therefore, Uganda as a country should take advantage of that. It will be so bad whereby when we went to Sudan, Uganda put in a lot of effort to see that Southern Sudan, is a country, is organized and all that, right from the help politically and militarily and all that. When it came to economic benefits, Kenya benefited more. Surprisingly, they came in a very organized mode, in a corporate, manner. Understand that? Banks, look at them, corporate companies. That's the approach they came with. Now, Ugandans, when they are at an individual level, that's why when we had
stories of Sudan.
Exactly, Sudan. That's why when Ugandans had, an economic hiccup being propelled by the insurgency, political conflict between Machar and Salva Kiir, the current president, then Uganda lost a lot of business. And then we are now struggling to see how the Southern Sudan government should pay. But now they're asking you, who are these people? They were not in the database. The Kenyans, they were more organized. The corporate companies, the corporate where they came, they were very organized. And now, for them, they were easily compensated. In Uganda, we are struggling. Is it Chibalama? Where was Chibalama situated? Blah, blah. Yes, you were there. But in which mode? In which methodology did you use to see that you really exist there? So that was also a problem. Now, the lesson we learned in Southern Sudan should probably be used and instituted in DRC. Let us have a very organized model that we are in the database, we are this and all that. Probably the only problem Ugandan business people are having is failing to formalize. They think they can live invisible. But in the modern world, with the latest technology, you cannot be invisible. Now, the East African community is a very big benefit. Ugandans are now exporting our products to Congo, to Sudan, to Somalia. Now, let us take this advantage, but let us formalize ourselves. I'd really say.
The challenge, of course, with integration, and this is something I think we have seen, for example, between Uganda and Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, is the difference in the political systems. People look at this integration of East Africa not only as economic. Like you mentioned, there should be peace in Sudan if we are to trade there. There should be harmony. People should be safe traveling on the road via the Muni border, but we've had people being killed on the road and many traders losing their lives. Then also, when it comes to the political integration of our systems, for example, the Kenyan political system is way different from the Ugandan political system, and there has always been that kind of rubbing of shoulders. You know, they do have a term limit, we don't have a term limit. They do have this and that. That you understand. There is always that kind of contradictory kind of thing that comes as a backlash to what we're actually trying to promote as integration. And a matter of fact, we've seen, for example, Tanzania sometimes ban products from Uganda in some cases. We've also seen us, Uganda, we are a little bit more open. And you will evidence that if you cross any border from Uganda, maybe to Tanzania or to Kenya, you take about 30 minutes to cross to Uganda. It doesn't take a lot. But try crossing from Uganda, for example, to TZ and see. Try to cross from Uganda to Rwanda. You take 4 hours. They scrutinize you. So how can we have a smooth integration politically, economically, and also looking at all the other aspects of life?
Well, I want to give an example of USA. They are different states.
And they have different governance.
They have got different governance. But there is a uniformity as in the economic benefits. Somebody coming from a different state, going to a different state does not need a visa. I think you know that.
Yeah.
But probably when you get to the other side, there is a different political kind of governance at some level. And their governors have different, way within. So for us as Ugandans and business, community, and any other, business, community in Kenya, Tanzania, within the Great Lakes region and the East African community, we may not so much get interested in the political atmosphere as long as it is peace. It is peaceful, I would say. So in the way that President Museveni and his government govern Uganda, yes, if it does not so much directly affect my economic, East African benefit, then that's okay. If there are no trade barriers, that's okay. If all the economic barriers are fine, then it's fine. It's okay. I would probably, if they say Uganda is a federal state of East Africa, I don't care. If they say it's a government, I don't care. For as long as, I can move here to Congo and then there are no tariff barriers, understand that? It's okay. It's for those who are interested in the political arenas, who are in the political arenas, the politician who want to make it so fragile and all that. But for as long as I can cross to Rwanda. You see, now in Rwanda, the other time when they closed the border, people suffered. Perishable goods got rotten and all that. It was really not all that good. So there was a lot of economic failure. And the people really economically starved for those that were doing business with the Rwandan community. So a peaceful political existence with different political ideology, it's okay. The problem comes whereby now they conflict to a level of closing and destroying the political barriers. That will be so bad. But I want to assure you, it is not going to be in the short run it's not going to be in the short run to have a uniform political existence. It is impossible. We may die without seeing it, but there is a possibility of having having economic uniformity. That one I'm 100% sure. You understand that? So therefore, when they closed the borders of Rwanda on the political on the political issues, then who suffered most? It was the economic sector that suffered a lot.
Yeah.
I understand
The traders.
I don't care who has got 2 term limits, who has got 5 term limits, who has got an open term, who has got no age limit. I don't care. For as long with me, I can go to Tanzania. I'm visa free. I can have. They may not subject me to a work permit. They will probably have maybe one currency. Understand that? Yeah. One currency of East Africa. It is okay.
Communication, the language.
It's okay, and all that. Tanzania does not look at me as a foreigner. It is fine and all that. So therefore, the politicians, let them probably exist, differently but peacefully. Maybe that.
Yeah. Talking also about budget allocation, you brought out budget allocation, especially for this year 2020, 2022-23, as being a pre-COVID budget. I agree much with you, because when you look at the entire budget, security taking a lion's share, you're looking at human capital development coming in the third place. You're looking at the priorities of government really being exactly out of line according to the current situation that we are having. Probably what someone would expect agriculture to be somewhere up there. Someone would expect the health sector to be somewhere, but they were not there. And this is exactly what we are facing as challenges, rubbing off from our budget allocation. Based on the current or the prevailing economic conditions, what do you think government should be prioritizing when it comes to budget allocation?
When it comes to budget allocation, absolutely, security should be given priority. For one reason, any tabulated, kind of atmosphere that is that is having a security threat, nothing can happen. I want to assure you. Understand that? So therefore, security should be number one. Any leader that does not give, assurance to the peaceful existence of any community leads, then that one is a failure. And any politician that would always come and is aspiring for being the fountain of honor, and he does not show the parameters, the security parameters for peaceful existence, then that one is a failure. Number two, when you look at, they should also allocate what economic backbone do we really have? Which sector of the economy is probably housing the biggest percentage? That's agriculture. Understand that? And therefore, agriculture should be so much emphasized, because as in Uganda, our value additions are coming from agriculture. That's why you're seeing a lot of beverage, beverage products are coming from our own agricultural products, the oranges, matoke, blah blah, and all that. That means it is a backbone. It is economic, kind of benefit right to the peasant, to the cultivator, to the supplier, to the production end, to somebody that is employed in this agricultural industries and all that. That means a lot of money should be put in here. Understand that? And also, as the country is also benefiting from the cash crops, we are still benefiting a lot from coffee, from cotton and all that. We cannot run away from it. So therefore, agriculture should also be given a lot of emphasis. Also, budget allocation should also go to health. Understand that? We are having a lot of health issues. By the way, the death tolls are so high still in Uganda, I'd really say. Yes, I thank the president for having been so much at the forefront of the 6 killer diseases. Few are now being killed by polio, measles, those we grew up studying. I don't know within your time, do we have other 6 killer diseases apart from the 6th one? But those one, he fought them really, which was really very good. I give him credit. But still, we are having other health challenges and all that. Cancer has also become now, something that they should really deal with. Only that what government does is that's why when you go to government facilities, they will always give you medication that is probably that can be sprayed easily, and diseases that you can acquire at an independent kind of behavior systems. That one, they don't treat you. They will probably give you a net, a malaria kind of preventive net, just because that mosquitoes are everywhere and it may hit the population. Understand? So something that is likely to target the population, and then the population is likely not to live healthy in that mode. What they do, the government usually comes in. That's when you go to health facilities of certain government health facilities, there are certain diseases they will dodge. They will not tell you that one we don't, but probably you see doctors referring you to certain, medical facilities that belong to them, because they know it's not a crime. That one, the government has no, answer to it. So they should really come in as in healthy, put in a lot of money to have a healthy population. Education right from, see, I'm one of the people that came out strongly. I was anti-data tax, social media. Yes, the government is always so much attacked at the social media, but that is a vent, breathing space. How they can, those that feel they are so much disgusted by it is their breathing, and also that's where the government also get to realize that, oh, there is a problem here. Because the truth is that if a minister went to the government, to the president, is likely to probably tell him things are so good. Your Excellency, the other day the approach you brought was good. But it's only those ones that are not happy that are likely to come out here again with a better approach, telling, I wish you had done this and all that. Now, social media at some point is also very important. Subjecting a lot of taxation on data was not good. That means, I believe that the internet by UN, it is a right. It is a what? Right. A right. And it's a free right. Why? Because it propels education.
And innovation, probably.
Innovation. Yeah. Understand that? It is an industrious, propelling, mechanism.
Mr. Mozambique, when you go to, for example, Kenya, they have moved ahead to make data access a must.
Exactly.
You're looking at Nairobi. They do. First, we look for hotspots. It's a requirement now in Nairobi for you to have Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
And there are government centers in buses, bus stops, where there's internet. Rwanda has done the same. Look at their innovation index. It's going up very, very quickly. Right now, Rwanda has a company that makes laptops. They have companies now that are getting into venture into making smartphones. These are things that have been importing from China expensively.
That's very true.
And so we haven't done that.
That's very true. So look at the students who are in the education sector, the learners. The learners now, they are subjected to research online.
Yeah.
And understand that? Then you answer online, your lecturer, and then look at this, student coming from a background, that is economically shattered, but is struggling, and also is also struggling to access information. Libraries are now, old style, whereby like now you are going to a university library, and then that's where you're looking for points of references and all that research. It is an old system. So therefore, I think government should heavily invest in education, and also looking at the policies that don't really resist proper learning. There should be easy access to information, and easy access to information education should not be subjected to a certain policy that is a tax approach that is propelling that is blocking the learner to access information. You understand that? So with their political management affairs, they should find a way how they should counter-react. Understand that? Because now here they say Facebook is blocked. Certain kind of apps are but people are using other methodologies. You're finding people are using VPN and all that. So therefore, education, government should really invest in a lot of money and propel, because once the population is learned, then there is a likelihood of enhancement in everything, industrialization, everything. So healthy, everything will probably, the index will shoot up. So education, security, agriculture, it should be a priority. Remember, we had a problem. There's something we talked about, that the budget that the government had was pre-COVID, pre-COVID, and the president was very clear. I like the president for one thing. He will always give you the source of his decision. He said technocrats and experts, they told him he should not go for a tax cut. Let him leave things as they are.
Despite the pressure.
To me, those were the enemies of Ugandans. Those ones who advised him. He's on record. Now, a Ugandan who has a lockdown of 2 years. If he was in the production, the production machinery are down. The market is scattered. The production cost still is going to be constant. As he comes back, if he's renting, then he's going to run to the banks. But you are saying you are still subjected to the same tax that was pre-COVID. That was wrong. Now they made the taxpayers scatter. I understand that? Because Ugandans, we are having 45 million. The true taxpayers are less than 1.5 million.
We're going to take a quick break, Mr. Muzano, right there, and return with our final segment as we wind up our discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Point, analyzing economic policy, and I'm with Mr. Muzamiru Abori, who is from the Kampala Akeda's Advocacy Forum,
CAFO.
Uganda, CAFO. And we are returning shortly after this short break.